Hi there friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots, and today we are making the Wild Gnome pattern in a mushroom style. He takes 20 minutes, needs a sewing machine, and if you'd like to make him, boop, stick around. As always, please like this video so I know you're here. Now, of course, I need to show you the front, the back, the top. It's so cute. He's 5 inches and you can get the pattern down below. We're going to need that pattern, some fur, fabrics for the top and the base, and then we're also going to need a sewing machine, needle and coordinating threads, and your glue gun. Okay, so we're going to start by tracing the pattern to our fabric pieces and cutting everything out. It is a stage sewing, which makes it easy, so we're just going to first start off with this mushroom cap, pinning and sewing that straight line. Next up, we're going to pin the vertical on the body and then go to a sewing machine. Pin the insides or the right sides together of the mushroom top and the gill piece, which is the one with the circle in it. And then start and reverse your stitches and hem it all the way around on that outside edge. Then you're going to turn it right sides out, roll your fingers in the seam, and then set that aside. Next, we're going to move to the body, which is super simple, also stage. We're going to sew up this vertical first. This is a start and reverse stitch as well. And then I'm not going to ruin the surprise, but there's a little bit in the pattern here that calls out what to do with these humps. We're going to pin them and sew them per the pattern instructions. Next up, we're going to put the right side of the base in toward the body, and then we're going to pin that edge all the way around. So if you're not new to sewing, 4 pins will suffice. If you are new to sewing, add a lot of them. I normally would do 4, but I want to show you. I get a lot of questions about sewing bases on. It's super easy. You just have to have confidence in yourself. If you mess it up, undo your stitches. That's okay. So here you go. I'm going to do it for beginner. Just put a pin every 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever you'd like, all the way around. Make sure where the edges come together for the seam that's flat. That's really the only tricky part. Next up, you're going to start and reverse that stitch, and you're going to be moving the body out of the way when you're going all the way around the base. You start and end in the very same spot, and then when you remove the pins, you can see here, just turn it outside right sides out, and you're good. All right, so we're going to fill with poly beads. I use these because they are non-allergenic, no scent, and do not absorb moisture. We're going to fill it halfway and then the rest with polyfill. Do keep your polyfill near you because we're going to need it a little more later. Tuck it in there, make sure you get a bit in that little bump out piece, and then grab your needle and thread. We're going to sew this up. So it's a little opening, we're just going to sew it up. It takes about 30 seconds real time, but I'm going to save you watching me hand sew anything. And then when I get halfway up, I'm not going to undo anything. We're going to fill up as much as we can because this is going to fill into the mushroom cap. So we want it very full and very solid. I get questions a lot about how much to fill the body. Squeeze it, make sure it bounces back, you know you're done. And yes, that was me stabbing myself with the needle. I double knotted it and then I pressed the needle through the body, pulled it tight, and then cut the thread. Going back to our mushroom cap, we're going to add some polyfill only along that outside edge, that rim, because again, the body is going to make up the middle. Cute, right? So if you think you may have stuffed it too little or too much, just put it onto your body and just align the seams. Make sure you like the way it looks. Move the fill around before moving to the next step. Okay, go and grab your embroidery thread and a needle. You're going to need about 36 inches. Knot the one end after you've threaded it, and then you're going to go in through the center and out almost where the 2 fabrics meet, so just under that, and then go back through the center. So you're not poking it through, just going back through the center and about a 1/2 inch away from where you started. I have done gills about 30 different ways, and this is the easiest and it looks the best. I've tried pleating, I've tried the sewing machine, I've tried adding fabric. This is the best. If you're new to Ruffles and Rain Boots, I have a very popular taller mushroom pattern. It's a no-sew pattern, and this is the same exact method I used on the Gills. This took me real time, like about a minute and a half to do. So if you accidentally pull out your thread like I did right there, boom, just get your needle back in, go in right next to where you came out, and then just tie this off on the inside of one of those gills. So you can see mine shifted a little bit during sewing. You can move those threads around to make everything even because they're not sewn down. All right, to make sure you like everything, line up those seams, pull on your hat, and we're gonna move on. One of my favorite parts. I'm using Mongolian fur here for the beard because I love it, but you could also use yarn. You can use wool roving would look cool. I just cut the bottom 2 corners off, and it's about 3 inches, and here's my favorite part. Ooh, brushing out. I love the transformation of this stuff. Anyway, back to it. We are going to make sure that we put our faux fur as high as the edge of the seam, and I'll show you right there. So we want to make sure that it's covered by our hat. So put that bead of glue along the top, and if you like where you placed it, go ahead and glue it all the way down. I used a comb to split the fur to its fabric backing. There goes my nose. I added a generous portion of hot glue and placed a clay ball that I had made right in there. You can use a wool felted ball, you can use a half round, you can use a wood bead, anything you'd want. All right, so now that we have that in place, we're going to squish on this hat again, pulling down in the back after you've lined up the seams. Now, the only thing I would say on this is add glue to the body right above the nose, and then make sure that piece is where you like it. Then move to the back, glue that down, and then the sides. You can play with this so you can get different looks depending on how far you pull that hat down. It's really fun. Okay, for my last little piece of my Amanita muscaria mushroom here, I'm just cutting organic shapes from the same fleece material that I used on the body and gills. So I'm just gonna hot glue those down randomly. And then because all of this is white and I'm an extremely messy crafter, I gave him a lint roll all over. I manicured his beard a little bit. And then he's done. He's ready for the big show. What do you think of him? Let me know in the comments below. Also below you can get that new wild mushroom pattern or wild gnome pattern. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe for more crafty fun.